President William Ruto is in the race to achieve his agenda of improving the country's economy from the current situation which he terms as dire, saying his government is putting measures in place to achieve the same. Ruto says he will do all it takes to change the current state of affairs economic-wise, as he promised during the campaign period, taking time to enumerate how the country found itself in the current situation.
The borrower is a slave to the lender. You know our situation of debt, right? And you also know the words of Proverbs 13 and 22 that say, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, and the wealth of sinners is laid out for the just.
The president, who spoke while attending a service at Faith Evangelistic Ministry Family Church in KRA, Nairobi, addressed the importance of raising the country's revenue collection in order to fund development projects, noting that Kenya should raise its revenue collection level to 25% from the current 14%.
Countries like ours, in the middle income category, they raise between 20 and 25% of their GDP in terms of revenue. But for us, we are at 14%. We need to move the percentage of our revenue from 14% to 25%. We are currently collecting only 2.1 trillion. I want you to pray for our nation, so that we can move our revenue from 14% to 25%, because that is where countries like ours are.
Adding on to what needs to be done to combat the current drought, the president said there was an urgent need for Kenyans to play their dutiful role in the fight against climate change.
I need help with our environment, and we have purpose to grow 15 billion trees. God gave us this country. We must take care of it. Part of why we have drought and the situation we are in is a contribution from the world, but we have a role to play as a nation.
This comes even as the president is this evening expected to travel to the Democratic Republic of Congo for a one-day state visit that will see him hold talks with President Felix Tshisekedi on matters trade and security. The visit comes just days after the Kenya Defense Forces was sent to the country to help fight M23 insurgents as part of the East African Community Regional Force. After the DRC visit, the president will head to South Korea for a 3-day state visit where he will hold talks with President Yoon Suk Yeol. Ruto plans to explore partnerships with South Korea in agriculture, energy, infrastructure and public health, as well as possible signing of trade agreements between the two states.